What's up, boys? Fedogate PR Week 3 here, the Little Dick Edition. Your hosts with the littlest dicks across the nation. Let's go.
All right. As you saw from before that little flash, we're going to do a trade report. So, whenever there's trades, we're going to try and figure out who won it, who lost it. But we're going to give it at least a week to try and figure that out. So, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
the one trade was Josh and Ramey trading Darren Waller for Cam Newton. And personally, I think that Josh rinsed the rinser.
Get
Um,
fucking roasted, Ramey.
Raimi should try and go on WikiHow to figure out how to rinse people because I think he's lost it. Why would you ever trade a top 10 tight end for a very replaceable QB off of an injury? I don't know.
Thanks, Ram. I love you. Next, we got the pickup of the week. We're gonna review the waiver wire pickups and select the most stout one. Of course, it's Jaden Belak with the New England DST. These guys got a crazy schedule. It's actually disgusting. If you look at like the next 5 or 6 weeks of New England, they got like the Jets twice, New York Giants, and Redskins. They're gonna be just cruising. Good shit, Billick.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go with the start of the PR here. So number 10. Sorry, James, but you're still here. Um, you did better than some other people last week, but overall we couldn't really move you up. Um, Brady finally played well in Miami. That was probably the first time in a long time that he's played well in Miami. So at least he's got that going for him. He had some good points, but he's got so many targets too. So it's gonna be smooth sailing for him from now on. Mixon has been either injured or something. I don't know. Have you really seen him on the field much? Yeah, he's kind of just disappeared, honestly. He's not really the workhorse back we thought he would be. Hawkinson's week one. Wow. That was a nice dream that we all had, but now we've woken up and we've realized that he might just be like a normal type rookie tight end that doesn't perform as much.
To think that I tried to trade James for Hawkinson. What a
I
fool I
offered him
was.
I offered him a seventh round pick for him straight up, and he didn't answer me back. So
Typical.
yeah. So Lockett actually got targeted. Metcalf did too. So um, Lockett isn't gonna be like a two target for one catch for a touchdown every week, which is nice. He has some sustainability at least in that offense. Um, and then Breida, Kirk, and Williams all did really good, but sadly they're on the bench. So you gotta start your studs there. Um, and I don't even know who he plays. I guess he played Metcalf and Lockett, which were okay plays, but he had lots of studs on his bench that last week.
Yeah, other thing about James too, Josh Jacobs, one target through 2 weeks. Not looking like the pass catching back he was touted to be, so that's gonna make him a little less game script proof. So in games where Oakland's losing, you're not gonna see him putting up those stud 20-point weeks anymore.
Hmm.
All right, we got Nick up on here. Is he next?
Oh yeah.
Nick, I'm sorry, man. I know you're gonna come at us with the disrespect here, but Nick, I gotta say, man, first of all, you got the lowest amount of points in the league. Completely mediocre roster. But the reason we got you down at 9, Nick, one of the biggest reasons, last week you were starting the Rams D against the Saints. Now I know you got lucky and it all worked out because of Drew Brees' injury, but like that has got to be one of the most dog shit roster decisions I've ever seen with some nice defenses sitting on the waivers.
Like
But it didn't work out too bad, so
obviously
no
the
big
Rams
deal.
are a good D, but you're playing the Saints,
The
man.
Saints,
That's one of the best
yeah,
offenses in the league.
I bet like if Breeze stayed in, that defense isn't putting up 5 points even. Oh
Hmm.
well though. We'll move on to the rest of this mediocre ass roster. Fournette and
Oh,
Ingram, they're right, but it doesn't impress me too much. What does impress me are his quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson, who is a huge breakout right now, budding star.
uh-huh.
Questionable decision to start Watson over Jackson against
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, another reason he's down here. Pretty piss poor roster management, Nick. But yeah, like if I was him, I'd be packaging one of these guys to upgrade a running back. But who knows? That's just me, and I'm pretty dog shit at fantasy, so wouldn't 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 take my opinion too much into consideration. He's got like quite a bit of receiver depth though, with
Lots
John
of
Ross, who
upside.
is a nice pickup, and Curtis Samuel on the bench. Golden Tate will be coming back. Who knows how Danny Boy Jones is going to be doing?
He's gonna have a hard time
So
figuring out how to where to put the receivers in his starting lineup,
I
especially
think
these
so.
last two.
He's got a lot of depth at receiver though, so you got
Yeah.
that going for you, Nick. But otherwise, your running backs kind of weak, bro.
He's got like three tight ends. Is he keeping all three throughout the season? I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that one out too.
Tight end carousel, man. It's a fun ride.
All right, Sterling's staying put at 8. I mean, Goff actually played quarterback this week. I mean, he was at home, so that's usually where he ends up playing quarterback is at home. He doesn't play very well away for some reason. On Johnson and Adams also had good games, good comeback games. You kind of expected it from Adams. He was getting a little bit scared after the first game, which wasn't really warranted with how good Adams is. Someone almost jumped in on his trade there. I wish it would have been me. Um,
So sad.
yeah, his receivers are really good, but his top ones are kind of feasting off of touchdowns right now. Hilton has 3 in 2 games. Tyrell Williams has 2 in 2 games, and so you gotta think that those are gonna back down because I don't think T.Y. Hilton scored over 7 in his career in a season. So he's already got 3. I mean,
New sheriff in
obviously
town though.
he could pass
Jacoby,
7,
maybe.
but we'll see.
Who knows?
Yeah. Um, and the reason why I didn't draft Lindsey was because I had doubts that he was going to be the number one like he was last year. Like I got him in week 2 off the waivers because I knew that they didn't really see Royce doing it that year because he had an injury. And now that Royce is healthy, they kind of favor him over Lindsey, which is kind of weird if you think about it because of how well Lindsey played last year. But Royce has actually been more efficient and he's been on the field more lately than Lindsey has. So
You're hearing it from the Broncos expert, boys.
kind of awkward pick there, but
Mm-hmm. Other thing I wanted to say about Sterling,
oh, you got to tell me,
guy's such
man.
a guy's such a sweetheart. That's all good. It's all good. Such a little sweetheart. What do you say after in the chat? Like, good game to Tyson. Congratulated him on the win.
Oh,
Really
good
nice
sport.
addition to the league.
Yeah.
I fucking love you, Sterling. Also, Ertz with those wide receiver
Oh,
injuries. I was a
yeah.
little worried about Ertz, but he's going to be getting
More
same
upside.
target share as last year. Yeah, more upside. So it's just good. That's good in general. Anyways, yeah, moving on to Dylan. Sorry for fucking your shit up there,
Oh, that's
Noah.
fine. We'll get it down eventually.
Let's look at Dylan's team. Yeah, we will. We're getting used to this shit. So Dak Prescott, Dylan's got it right. Pay this man because he has been looking really good and he's been putting up points. That's a huge plus for this roster. Michelle and Montgomery kind of came back after sluggish week ones. Although I think it's important to point out that Sony Michelle has not broken a single tackle in 2 games.
Ooh.
Not looking too good. Yeah. And even like, I don't know, man. I know they're trying to keep him fresh, but against the Miami Dolphins, winning by so much, you think he'd be putting out more than 12.5. Like that's a perfect scenario. So, they came back, they had a little bit better weeks, but I don't think those guys have a huge upside or anything. This is why Dylan's a little lower. His receivers, on the other hand, about the injuries to Hill and Green. He'll be laughing when those guys come back. But Larry Fitz is getting peppered. Really good later round pick there. He's holding the fort for now with OBJ putting up a stud game. Robinson and Evan Ingram came back down to earth. It'll be interesting to see how Evan Ingram does with Daniel Jones. You think he'd be, kind of checking the ball down to Saquon and Ingram a lot. So could be good for him. Kenyon Drake is on the trade block apparently with Miami. Really just
Yeah, everyone wants out.
yeah, man, Jesus. It's actually pretty funny. It's pretty fucked up. Sad times for Dolphins fans. But yeah, I'd be hanging on to Kenyon Drake. You never know where he's going to get traded. Could work out pretty well. Only other thing I wanted to point out with this roster is DJ Chark was a pretty nice waiver pickup. He appears to be the favorite target of Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
That's sexy, man. So, props to you, Dylan. That wasn't a bad one.
Yeah, one thing I want to add about AJ Green, apparently he was saying how he's got to see where he is when they reported it his injury was like 6 to 8 weeks, and it's week 7 right now. And he like said this past week that he's got to take it like kind of a week at a time to figure that out. It
Yeah,
might
he
be a
doesn't
ploy
sound
to
too
get paid,
confident.
honestly.
Oh
He might
man.
want to get
Ooh.
paid before he steps on the field. So
I would not pay that man if I was the Bengals GM.
he's got junk legs, but he's very good.
It's
And
time to move on.
huge shocker. Dylan has the most points against in the league.
Typical. Poor
Typical
guy,
Dylan.
man. He's cursed.
Uh,
Love you, Dylan.
all right. We got a tier break here. Um, Antoine, even though he won, moved down 2 spots because of injuries. Drew Brees has got injured, so he's got to find a waiver
Mm-hmm.
wire QB, which is
Mm-hmm.
somewhat replaceable, but he also lost Alshon Jeffrey, so for a few weeks. I mean, he does have the backup, Nelson Aguilar, which um, might post like similar value, but we'll see. Jared Cook, we'll see what happens with Breeze there if he has more value or less, but probably
I'd be
not,
trading.
honestly.
I'd be trading for a new tight end if I was
Would
Twan.
you, huh?
Wink, wink,
Is
wink.
there a reason why you think he should be trading?
Nope, this is just objective
Oh,
commentary,
okay.
non-biased at
Got
all.
got it.
Yep.
So Calvin Ridley is tearing it up. When I was debating Boyd and Ridley at the draft, I knew it'd be close, but I think Ridley might have pulled ahead just because he's got
Man,
that touchdown upside.
I was scared watching that game. I was like, damn, is Ridley taking over Julio here? Like Julio's fine. I'm
Yeah,
I'm loving Julio, but like I can't say I didn't think about it for a second. I was
Ridley is
like, damn,
turning
bro.
into a sort of 1B, honestly, there.
Yeah, he is, man. He's a stud.
AP and Thompson both provided huge value with Geis gone. They actually got some points. We'll see if AP is more touchdown bit dependent or not, but um, yeah, we'll have to figure out what he has there. And like the rest of his receivers are really good. Although Juju's going down a little bit with Mason Rudolph, he did get targeted quite a bit, but you can't expect him to be as good with Rudolph than with Big Ben.
No, definitely not. That's a big concern. All right, next we got Raimi.
This is a
Guy,
huge slide.
yeah, he slid down quite a bit from the number one spot, still in that second tier. Honestly, Raimi, like your team on paper, just like it looks pretty
Mm,
nice, pretty
so good.
scrumptious, so delicious. I wanted to put you above me, but like I just can't because I just smothered your face in the dirt this week. Just gave it to you, so obviously I'm above you. But yeah, nice trade for Cam Newton, you fucking fool. DJ and CMC will be fine. Tough weeks. DJ might have been a little. Well, no, yeah, he was out for half that game,
Yeah,
wasn't he? He
wrist
got hurt,
injury.
so came back and got the tutty though. Yeah, CMC. That might. Who knows? That could be his lowest scoring week of the season. But
Hmm.
Cam Newton being garbage certainly does not help CMC or DJ Moore, who has 24 targets over 2 weeks. I'd still be pretty happy with Moore, but could you imagine if Cam Newton was throwing some catchable balls in there?
The production he has on 24 targets doesn't really show though, because
Not
of those
not great,
catchable
but
targets. Yeah.
still good to see those targets
Hmm.
coming his way. Lower key week from his top three here, Edelman, Cooper, and Watkins, but it's gonna happen with Antonio Brown going to New England. Less targets for both Josh Gordon and Edelman. Got a smaller piece of the pie. Sammy Watkins is showing how boom bust he is. He's gonna have 3 tutties 1 week and then come back down to earth with 49 yards. Kittle's been a little low key. I wouldn't be too worried about him, but not putting up the numbers you want for the third tight end off the board. Devonta Freeman, though, with that offensive line, like you can't put him between the tackles. Like that offensive line is so shit. I'd be a little worried about him. Who
You got to
knows?
bench
Maybe
him
it'll
for
get
now.
better.
I think
You got
Ramey
to
is
bench
benching
him.
him
You
this
got to
week.
bench him for the guy Raheem must start. What good
Oh,
pickup, Ramey,
such a
because
must start. Yes.
he's a must start, man. Like Kyle Shanahan just knows how to get his running backs going and make them productive. Otherwise, though, a lot of doo doo on this guy's bench besides Moore and must start. But yeah, on paper, still a really good team. Definitely don't be starting Cam Newton next week, Ramey. But you're down for now. Expect a resurgence though.
Yeah, with that down week, he's down to the number 2 or the second lowest points in the league. So,
Yep, you'll be moving up though. You'll be
well,
moving up.
Josh, you said it.
Huh.
You're slightly above Ramey here,
Had
just
to.
because of that victory. Dalvin Cook, top 5 RB, if not higher than Kamara right now with the
I love
injury to
him.
Breeze, honestly.
I love him.
Um, Connor's injury, who knows?
Yikes.
Apparently it's not that bad, but it should impact him enough that Samuels will play a little bit more, I'm assuming. Cup and Jones, they had a day, man. Cup had a huge run, and his touchdown got called back to like the 1 yard line.
Oh.
And then Julio Jones obviously had a huge game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Gordon is gonna
Cup has the
lose.
Cup has the most targets first 2 weeks of the Rams receivers. Just got to
Yes.
put that out there, my
Yeah,
man.
I have a little anecdote about that, but we'll
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
that on my on my
Okay.
on my turn. Gordon's gonna lose some targets to Brown, obviously. Brown was targeted 8 times on 14 on 14 routes or something stupid like that. Um, Gordon was also getting covered by Xavier Howard, the number one corner from the Dolphins. So we'll see if that was the reason why they weren't targeting him. Waller's good, but
Mm-hmm.
but I think Mark Andrews is better. Um, you're
I
you're
agree.
lucky you didn't trade him
For a seventh round pick, thank God I
for a
didn't do
seventh
that,
round
or
pick.
else I would have been on the trade of the week full
Yeah,
screen.
yeah, I guess so. Um, Zero J Howard though, that's a tight end you don't want me to talk about. So I think I'll just skip right over
No.
him.
Yeah, we all
Um,
know we all know his situation.
yeah, he's got an invisible bench, man. Very, very invisible. Penny had a good game because of fumble hands Carson, but
Oof.
um, yeah. Do you want to add a little tidbit to your team? Defend yourself?
What do I got in here? Um, where the fuck am I here?
Nah,
Okay, here I
you're
found my
good.
thing. Yeah, no, I think a lot of my upside picks really busted. Pettis, Westbrook, Westbrook, OJ Howard really letting me down. Uh, yeah, I'm looking for a receiver, boys. Looking for a receiver. If you need a tight end, I'm your guy. Other thing I want to point out, while Miles Sanders has been very inefficient, he's
He's
still
the
getting the
man.
majority of he's the man. Yeah, he's getting the majority of that work. So maybe the Eagles get that offense going a little more and are in some better game scripts when they're not coming back against Atlanta and Washington, and you'll see something from Sanders. But right now, he's obviously got to stay in the bench.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. Look at this
Next, you
team.
have your other host. Coincidental that we're both near the top of the list. Hey, Noah.
That's
It's kind of
crazy.
yeah.
I mean, we are
Yeah.
2-0 and 1-1, so
You fell down. What'd you fall down? One
one
spot.
spot.
Um. Yeah, the tight end injury to Hunter Henry, especially since that happened right after the waivers cleared. That was a bummer. Definitely gonna be looking for a new tight end on the way through trade potentially, but there's some guys out there.
There are some guys,
Kamara. Oh yeah.
just barely.
I I'd be a little bit worried about Kamara and MT with that Drew Brees injury, 6 weeks. That's tough, man. I think those guys are such stud players, though, that they're gonna be, like weekly starters. Anyhow, it's not gonna destroy them, but it definitely impacts their value a little bit.
I'm not worried about MT.
Yeah, I know you're
He
not
had
worried.
he had a
I'd be a little
36%
worried.
target share when Bridgewater was in, and he still had near 100 yards on 10
There you
catches.
go.
So two
There
10
you go,
catch games in
boys.
a row.
Boom. Most catches in the league, isn't he?
Uh, I don't know.
I think so.
It's close.
Anyways, this guy's got 4 top 20 receivers. Robert Woods, Chris one in Tampa Bay. He's looking like the one, that's for sure. And Tyler Boyd is 10 receptions for 122. It's pretty nice stuff. Pretty nice stuff. Chubb was a little inefficient, but he still put up 17.8. It's a good game. Not going to complain too much. He'll probably get it going.
Yeah, that O
Let's check
line's
out this
gotta get a
guy's
little better.
Duke Johnson has Nick wasn't too wrong about that. Carlos Hyde is the guy you want probably. They do not know how to
That's
throw to the running back.
freaking ridiculous. I don't understand. Duke is so much better than Carlos. Like,
Yeah.
but
How do you you
Bill
have a
O'Brien's gonna
great
Bill O'Brien, man.
exactly. Like you got this guy who's a great pass catching
Gave
running
up a
back.
third
Why don't you
rounder
use
for
him?
him, and they picked Hyde off the waivers, and they're using Hyde. That's
Pretty
funny.
funny stuff. Only other comment about this team is Michael Gallup was looking pretty nice first 2 weeks. What did he put up? 19.3 week one, then 6 for 68 week two.
Yeah, something
Injury
like
2 to 4 weeks is a bummer, but he'll be back. I like the nickname though, the Four Horsemen of
Yeah,
the
thanks.
Apocalypse with
Thanks. I like that.
Gallup. It's a
Yeah.
good little pun there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been out yardaging Cooper, if that's like a word. He's had more looks and he's been out yardaging Cooper. Cooper just has a touchdown, so. But I'm
Yep,
not saying Gallup is the one, but he's got good upside there. And so the one caveat I wanted to put on that Cup has the most targets is Woods actually lost 5 targets, 3 receptions, and 1 touchdown from penalties. So
that's
like
right.
his game would have been so much better
Well,
if the penalties didn't occur.
yeah, that's very true. He should stop,
Obviously that's
making
nitpicked, but
plays during
I gotta
the
defend that
penalties.
team.
Yeah,
All right, Tyson, you're number 2. I don't really know how, but your team keeps on doing it, so we gotta
baby
put you up
daddy.
there. Yeah. Derrick Henry and Aaron Jones are carrying the load for you, and they're doing good every week. I mean, Aaron Jones had a bad week 1 because of the matchup, but he showed in week 2 that he's the guy there. And Green Bay is gonna feed their guys because even Jamal Williams had a really good game. Um, Man, frickin' Vance McDonald, is he back? I think he's
He's
back
dancing.
because of Rudolph. I think
He's
Rudolph is going
dancing.
to target him, and he's going to be the tight end that Tyson thought he was. He
Yep.
played 91% of the snaps, so that's a super good snap share. Brown, as I said before, targeted early and often by Brady, and Brady was just looking at Brown whenever he was on the field. It was ridiculous. He was just like he didn't care if the defense saw him looking at Brown the entire way. Cooks actually had a boom this week. We'll see if next week is a bust. Um, yeah, Gurley's still flitting time. I wouldn't be worried about Gurley based on your running backs that you have, but Gurley is not going to be in the top 5 or 6 RB
No.
talks because he's just splitting time with Malcolm Brown. It's like one drive is Malcolm Brown, the other drive is Gurley. So they're splitting time. He's looking good, but he's looking good on split time. So
Yeah, luckily Henry turned out to be the workhorse that he was those last 4 games last year. I think
hmm
everybody was kind of sleeping on him. Good value on him. He got him pretty late, and then Aaron Jones. I think that was the most carries he's ever gotten in his career. So they got Lafleur in. He's using him as the primary guy, and he's a run first head coach. So they're gonna be feeding Aaron Jones the ball. Only other thing about this team was, yeah, Ronald Jones. I was complimenting him last week. Supposed to get more carries from Bruce Arians. Yeah,
what a freaking
Peyton
liar.
Barber had himself a game, and Peyton Barber is on the waivers courtesy of Remy Dufour. He was looking pretty chapped on Thursday
Oh, we're
night
gonna
about
have to
that
do a
one.
drop of the week.
Yeah, yeah, that's good stuff.
All right. Who's number 1?
Number one, the littlest dick of them all. And trust me, folks, I've seen this guy's penis way too many times. It's Billick. I think this is the first time he's been at the top of this list in a tier of his own, but you can't not, man. 150 week 1 and 180 week 2. He
Ugh.
almost broke the record. He's got a lot in Kansas City, and Mahomes, people were expecting regression, but he is the same Mahomes. He's going to be slinging the ball to Kelsey and McCole Hardman, who is going to be starting for this guy next
hmm
week. So that was a pretty nice little pickup. Again, that New England defense pickup was pretty damn good. Yeah, Eckler, the number one running back in fantasy football so far. It'll be interesting to see how long this goes for. When Gordon comes back, it's definitely going to
Yeah,
take
they'll
on a
split.
hit on this team. They'll split though, exactly. I don't think he's just
He's not
leaving,
gone.
and he had relevance last year with Gordon there.
hmm
So great pick. And what the 5th round, I was looking at the draft board and I was like, man, I took fucking Dede Westbrook and OJ Howard and Miles Sanders over Eckler. What was I doing? Everybody could have had him. Billick pulled the trigger. Good shit. Le'Veon Bell, he's getting, yeah, he wanted to get paid like a receiver and he's getting peppered. I don't think he's going to have the monstrous upside with a third string QB playing, but
Well,
he's going to have a very high floor with receptions and just
yeah,
getting
exactly.
handed the ball every fucking play. I don't think you're going to see him put up too many 25-point weeks, but he's going to be super high floor.
hmm
Yeah, Quinoa Allen, pretty solid week. Little bit lower key than last week, but pretty nice.
He got so
Jarvis
many
Landry,
targets with Hunter
yeah,
Henry out.
true, 15 fucking targets. That's pretty nice. Emmanuel Sanders is Joe Flacco's guy, and like, man, putting up numbers. Manny Sanders. I thought Billick took him a little
Ooh.
early, but good shit. Jarvis Landry, not a guy I was big on. I think there's too many Mel's in that offense.
Hmm.
He's not looking as shiny, but he's got receivers that he can start ahead of him in McCole Hardman, previously mentioned, and Scary Tarek McLaurin, another nice waiver pickup from
Great
Billick.
pickups.
So yeah, this team is looking like the guy right now to beat. Like if he's
86
putting
point
up
gap on
points,
second. That is
yeah,
crazy in 2 weeks.
he's balling, man. Singletary, the other guy, yeah, he was really good breakout, but non-contact injury. I don't think he's supposed to miss much time though, so that's good news.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we are trying to make these shorter and we are going way over time and you're just gonna have
What
to
time
listen
is
to
it?
it all. So that's that's
What?
that's fun for you guys. We're
9
we're sitting
minutes,
at
17
26 right
minutes
now.
ago. That's all G. That's all G.
Yeah, so let's go for matchups. So matchups this week, it's looking like there's a lot of one-sided matchups. Um, Antoine's looks way worse than it's supposed to be because he doesn't have a QB in right now and he doesn't have a receiver in either. So that one's going to be a lot closer than it looks. Closest matchup is probably our number 8 versus our number 9, or sorry, our number 7 versus our number 9, Dylan and Nick. Um,
That'll be
whoever
a good one.
whoever wins that is gonna kind of cement themselves atop of the bottom of the
Yeah,
on that bottom tier there. Um,
until Dylan's receivers come back at least. Then I think he'll be moving.
well,
No
yeah,
promises though. No promises.
they've
You
got to
should
show
beat
up too.
Sterling pretty handily.
I'd hope.
Billick,
I really hope so.
yeah, I hope so. You never know. Sterling hasn't had too bad
I
of
I
a couple
barely
weeks.
outscored him last week by like point 0.2
Yeah,
points. So,
never know, man. Billick should mop the floor with Brand. That'll be a good one.
yeah, that's number 1 versus number 8 in
Yeah.
points for, I think.
Good luck. Good luck, James. You better get that PR out soon, you big bitch.
I think the most hype matchup is probably you and Tyson.
It should be a good one. Definitely going to be a big one in terms of the PR and the standings. I need to get out with a win here, especially since I'm playing Tuan next week. So a couple tough matchups. It'll
Yeah.
be a tight one, I'm
So
thinking.
so we got 3 guys looking to stay undefeated and 3 guys trying to look for their first win. So we'll see how this
Yeah.
rolls out. Well, thank you for listening to the super long edition, the
So
encore edition, week
long.
3. I hope you guys like it. Again, tell us if you want us to change anything. We probably won't listen to you, but at least you let us know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
And most importantly, boys, stay a little dick to always.
yeah, and we're kind of sitting here and we're kind of waiting. We're waiting for some true and virtuous thoughts to be spewed, but I haven't really heard any. Have you?
No, man, no, I haven't heard anything. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous that he's coming out
Mm.
and saying, "Oh yeah, my true and virtuous PR is gonna be off the rails." He didn't say that, but that's what I imagine James would say. And
Yeah,
uh, and it's been a ghost town, so we'll see if it actually shows up.
yeah, James, come on, put your money where your mouth is, buddy. Let's
Yeah,
get it
well,
going.
this has been Noah, and for Josh, let's tell you guys to stay a little dicked. See ya.